Are you ready to take over 1960s New Orleans one district at a time? Hello there, my fellow mobsters. What's up? It's Robbie with Open Games, and we're going over a ton of new details from the behind closed doors 30-minute demonstration of Mafia 3. We're talking about empire building and so much more. So as always, use the video guide in the description below to skip ahead to the info you seek. And remember, keep your friends close and your enemies even closer. So a lot of this information comes from BG247, who got to see a 30-minute demonstration of Mafia 3. I know, it is crazy. There's a 30-minute gameplay demonstration floating around somewhere of all things Mafia 3, and I really want to freaking see it at this point. Hopefully they show it off sometime eventually, but they did give some really juicy details. And we're going to start out with empire building. Now, empire building mechanics were apparently spotted, so it sounds like you do actually go out into the world and you take over shops and the like. Now, this would be so badass. Of course, I've mentioned The Godfather. I won't go on about that anymore. I know you guys are probably like, oh, he's going to mention The Godfather again, but I really hope that the centerpiece of Mafia 3 for its story as well is going to be this big empire building mechanic. And, you know, it seems to be the case with the story, too, because, guess what? Apparently, you take over these businesses and you can hand them off to Vito, who was our original protagonist from Mafia 2. That would be so freaking cool. Now, remember, here's the interesting bit about this. As you hand off these businesses to, you know, people like Vito, to these head honchos that lead their own Mafia families, you have to remember that they each have their own competitors. We've got Cassandra, who has her families. Maybe she would take offense to you favoring Vito, and you have to really be careful about what businesses you hand over. I think it's going to be interesting to see, for instance, if you hand Vito over like a bar or something like that, and then you hand Cassandra a bar as well. Will these businesses compete? Is it this detailed in Mafia 3? I really hope so. I hope you have to be extremely careful with how you hand over these businesses. And it seems like there's going to be quite a bit of tension between these families, as hinted by Tanger 13. These families are gonna go to war. Question is my game going to be different from your game? Can you, have a game that's more peaceful, where the families get along, or can you have them war with one another? And can we lose characters throughout the game? That has yet to be seen. Will Vito meet his end? Oh, and get this is a complete rumor. According to the Mafia game wiki, which I'm going to include a link to that below, Lincoln Clay could actually be Joe's son. Bum, bum, bum. Could this be true? So it goes on to say, Joe then leaves Empire Bay and lives in the southern parts of the United States for 5 years before returning back. Interesting. So, after looking at Lincoln Clay, he actually has sort of the look of Joe. So maybe Joe lives on in spirit through Lincoln Clay. Wouldn't that be something? Let me know what you guys think about this theory. Please dissect the hell out of it. I'm very curious. I'm going to include that link again in the description below. But begin theorizing now. So we also have an update about the release date window for Mafia 3. I wish I was giving you an exact date, but the earliest the game can come out is April 2016 through December 31st, 2016. So this is actually good news. I thought for sure this game had the potential of being delayed in 2017. That seems like it will never happen with Mafia 3. It seems like 2016, no matter what, is a guarantee. So I think a lot of you went away from the first gameplay clips of Mafia 3 saying, this is a Michael Bay flick. What the hell, Robbie? What is up with all of the exploding cars? And you know what? After watching it, I'm sort of the same way. I get where you're coming from, but the game does scream F-U-N. It looks like it's going to be fun, and that's really important. But the good news is it seems like there's going to be more quieter moments, of course, in this game. For example, I read an article where they were able to see Lincoln stealthing his way through an area and then doing some violent interrogation methods. So interrogation seems to be a big part of this game. And I think the violence in this game is actually going to draw a lot of controversy when it finally releases. The Godfather did. Hey, I still love The Godfather. It was like the most violent game out there. Probably in some ways even more violent than GTA 5. But still, I think the story really made it grounded in that reality. But yeah, back to this chaotic, explosive nature of the game. You know, Hangar 13 said, oh, you know what? We did hear some of the complaints from our initial reveal, and you know what, guys, we know what we're doing, and you know, it's early in development. We may consider tweaking some things, so it sounds like they could potentially get rid of some of those immediate explosions, because they're pretty quick. They're like bam, the car just explodes. But the driving model is very much based off of Hollywood blockbusters. They do want it to be over the top. But I will say one thing about the driving mechanics that I absolutely love, it's a minor detail, is that rear view mirror. That is so awesome. Every single time I see the driving, I love that rear view mirror, and I hope more games pick up on that. Also, it looks like there's a new mode of transportation to get around New Orleans, and that is the trolleys or streetcars. We actually saw this in one of the screenshots, so it looks like these could provide a, you know, fast travel system or way to, you know, view the city from a different angle, or better yet, some epic cinematic chase scenes throughout the city. Maybe you'll be jumping on the trolley. I'm not too sure. That would be really cool to see. So hopefully they incorporate that in the, you know, epic story missions. Also, Take-Two expects Mafia 3 to be as big as BioShock and Borderlands. They said the reaction to the reveal has been huge, actually. This comes from Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick, who goes on to say, we've had enormously positive feedback and an enormous amount of social traffic, more than ever before. In fact, it is looking very strong. I'm very excited about it. The last one, Mafia 2, sold about 6 million units, so it's certainly successful. We have high hopes for Mafia 3. Woo! So that's really good news to hear. So I'm super excited for Mafia 3. Let me know if you guys are still. Even with the Michael Bay explosions, I still think it looks like a blast. And, you know it's not 1930s, 1940s era mobsters with the usual Italian feel that we were expecting. And I knew this was going to happen. For me, it screams Goodfellas. I love Goodfellas. It's still a Mafia tale. Cannot wait. So look forward to more Mafia 3 news right here at Open World Games. Thanks, guys, so much for watching. And soon enough, we will be driving around causing all sorts of carnage and chaos in 1960s New Orleans. Look forward to it.